Froze up. Everybody, Ryan the Mighty Quinn here, the Cornerman MMA with Ruthless Elle Wagman. Say hello, Elle.
What's up, guys? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So, we're doing something a little different today where, I usually do the fight look. I call it fight look, fight breakdowns. Gillian is a friend of us, friend of Fight Bananas, Betting Bananas. And we figured we would call her fight or break down her fight, how they would win. I drew the short straw. I got Piera, but how the fight would go down, how we plan on them winning, and how the adjustments they make. So first to start, why don't you do this first, Elle? Break down who wins, who has best striking, wrestling, grappling. That's something I usually, and any other attributes you can think of.
Yeah, so I think this is a pretty classic striker versus grappler matchup. I think that Gillian has a heavy advantage in the grappling department. I think Piera has a heavy advantage in the striking department. And then I think that the wrestling itself is actually fairly even. Neither of them are super dominant wrestlers. Like, if Gillian gets you to the mat, her jiu-jitsu is incredible. But if Piera can stay on her feet, that's her key to victory.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty cut and dry, this one. I got stand up going to Rodriguez, grappling going to Gillian, and then the equal wrestling, so to speak. So, all right, we got that out of the way pretty quick. I will let you go first. Why don't you break down? Tell me how Gillian wins this fight against Piera.
So like I said, I think that her keys to victory are the grappling exchanges, and I also think the cardio. Piera, she hasn't necessarily gassed in her fights, but she does tend to wear down a little bit in round 3. And so if I'm Gillian's corner, I'm telling her tons of volume and pressure early in the fight. I think we need to close the distance. Piera Rodriguez does a really, really good job with her range control. She stays back a lot. So if I'm Gillian's coach, I'm telling her we're punches and bunches to get inside, and we're shooting that single. I think if she shoots the double, she's going to get sprawled on because Piera is already very far back and she's already going to be keeping the range. So shooting that single to come up to the body lock or to chain to something else is definitely the way to go. Or we're going to be using our volume to crash into her and end up in the clinch. If you watch the Sam Hughes-Piera Rodriguez fight, they end up in the clinch automatically all the time. And while Piera Rodriguez does a good job controlling from the clinch, she doesn't really use it too much. Like, I wasn't super impressed with like the knees and the dirty boxing. She didn't do a whole lot with it. So I don't think there's a lot of danger to Gillian in that clinch. And if she gets there, I think it's going to be really easy for her to get that body lock against the cage and work to the back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on a lot of that. Let's go to the comment section real quick. Elle Dawson is hardcore from the Detroit's JP. Jay Pagliaro, my man. Fight Bananas taking a peek. Wonder who that is. And then JP agrees with you. Make it scrappy, drag it to the ground, take it to deep waters. Okay, so if I'm coaching Piera Rodriguez through this whole training camp, through this fight. Now, the thing is, like you said, she's very good. Obviously, 9-0 is, to say very good is an understatement. The key to her to this fight is being disciplined. Where do you use your very good? I 80% of the time, I lean on fighters that take the center of the cage and are good at keeping the center. I think they have an advantage. She's very good at that. In this fight, I wouldn't do that against a Gillian Robertson. Now, because like you said, she can come inside. Gillian's actually pretty explosive for a grappler with that north-south forwardness. And then to get inside, and then she stays inside. She's so good at grabbing something and then making it go to the ground. Pulling guard. That's an aspect that's almost a thing of the past in MMA. She still does it very well. So what do we do to avoid that? I think when it comes to Rodriguez, she needs to keep it simple and 1-2 front kicks, stuff that keeps that distance, stuff that Gillian can't come underneath and clinch on, and then move offside. Take that step to the right, take that step to the left, get offline on Gillian. Make Gillian have to keep squaring up on you, and then when you see her squaring up, she's got to throw another 2-1 or 1-2 again to try to keep scoring and keep it like that. If she's going to try to finish a Gillian here, it's not going to happen. She's going to put herself in a lot of danger. Gillian has a really good way of winning those exchanges. She's one of the rare fighters that could actually win a fight off her back. So I would try not to even use wrestling. I know that Piera, she does like to use that wrestling towards the end of rounds to try to, not here. I think she just needs to go 1-2, square up. When she starts getting Gillian to cover up, if she's getting those 1-2s, that's when maybe you throw the kicks in, the leg kicks, but don't offer any of that, any of those kicks for her to grab, and just keep that for 15 minutes. That's how I'm going to do it if I'm her. So that goes into what you said with the cardio. She's going to have to be disciplined to stay with her game and pick her rest spots where she's going to have to keep it calm, cool, and collective. I think that's her key to victory. That's her way to victory in this fight. Even using those, I like when I used to do this sometimes. Like I would throw stab jabs or straight rights to the body, not necessarily to score power punches, although it could set up a nice left hook up top, but to keep that grappler that wants to come forward on me, keep her on her heels, keep her at bay. Buy yourself that second to move offline. I think those are the keys to the victory for her here. All right. Now, that being said, here's where it gets interesting. This is where I think we do it differently than everybody else. Let's say that Rodriguez is implementing the game plan that I just thrown on you. Let's say she's putting that on Gillian, and Gillian's losing the fight. What adjustments does Gillian need to make in order to seal the victory?
If we can't shoot that single, so what I would tell her, if we're dealing with this like really sharp jab of Rodriguez, I would have Gillian kind of take this nice long frame and kind of use it to hide behind. Like I really like this kind of almost like archer frame for Gillian, because she's not necessarily like an elite striker. She's not going to be moving her head. She's not going to get inside like that. She's going to get inside by crashing. So I kind of like this nice high guard to keep her safe. She definitely needs to pressure heavy to avoid the leg kicks. So that's one of the other reasons I would, as her corner, I would want Gillian to pressure super hard. It's really hard to attack the low kick, especially the calf when you're moving backwards. So if she's constantly pressuring, kind of playing this touch game with the jab, I think it'll be a lot easier for her to crash into an exchange where she can get her body lock. I think if it's later in the fight as well, I think that single is going to be harder and harder to get because we're starting to get slippery. When we're not dry, it's harder to keep a hold of that leg. We saw that in like Khabib versus Ally and Quinta. The sweatier they got, the harder, because he shoots that nice low single that Gillian can do as well. So if we're not getting that single, we need to just play this patty cake game, crash in with maybe an elbow, like this. I like this up elbow to crash in, and then immediately she needs to be digging for that pummel and attacking the underhook. If she is still struggling to get her down from there, I like just kind of trying to get to the back, standing there, being that bully, attacking with lots of knees there. Like I said, I think Piera Rodriguez, like she likes to control the clinch, but she doesn't knee a lot there. So if Gillian can start, she can be first there and attack there, she can hurt her to the body, wear on that cardio a little bit there as well. Oh, did you freeze on me, Ryan? No. We're frozen. Ryan's frozen. Oh no. We lost Ryan. Give me just a second, guys.
Sorry
Are we
about
back?
that, Elle.
Hey, we're back. Okay, let me put you
Yeah,
back up.
sorry about that. So,
Bear with me.
all
I
right.
got
So
back up
you're
my
talking about the
stand.
adjustments. You're talking about the framing, the pitch. So,
Where'd you lose me?
continue from there. Yeah,
You
I
lost me
lost
at the
you. So,
frame.
yeah. So go from no. You went pretty in deep with this. So just go from there. From coming in with the elbow and then grabbing the tie clinch.
Yeah, yeah. So I think if we're high frame here to protect Gillian on the way in, staying here, protecting, making sure we're not opening up the body too much with this high guard, kind of playing patty cake with that front hand. I like the up elbow to
Mhm.
crash in immediately, like a good club over the top to start the clench position, and then we're immediately pummeling for underhooks. I think if she's still struggling to get her to the mat from that body lock position, I don't think she will. I think she has the vast majority there if she can get double underhooks. But if we're still struggling, I think we can start shucking that overhook by and working our way to the back standing.
Yeah. Okay. I like how you brought up there with coming in. So basically, getting the entry on a second way. So now, if Piera Rodriguez is losing this fight, it's because Gillian's getting in. It's unavoidable for whatever reason. So this is another thing that I would have her working all camp is her hand fighting. Why is that? Not necessarily to win those exchanges that you're referring to. However, I did notice, like you said, in her tie clinch, she's adequate there.
Mm-hmm.
Adequate's not going to work against the Gillian. So she needs to just use that pummeling just to just lose her and then get away, get that hand fighting to win position for a second and get away and go back to her 1-2. So basically, just do something to get back to plan A. Against somebody like a Gillian Rodriguez, plan B is very tough to do, taking the fight somewhere else. I wouldn't even try to hold her against the fence. Gillian's guard against the fence, taking people's back against the fence, like you said. So just use that violent hand fighting to get offline and try to go back. Maybe throw a straight right hand. No jabs, because when you break away like that and then you try to jab, you tend to be a little bit more extended than if you're a compact on the right hand. And then just go back to what we were doing. Go back to square one. 1-2s move, front kicks move, 2-1s move, stuff like that. So that's basically what we have for the breakdown of this. Is this this is on the preliminary card, right?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. I got to check into that.
Pretty sure.
I want to watch that on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that yet. I got a busy day Saturday. I'm not sure what our schedule is going to be like. Down this card, our best betting picks a lot on Betting Bananas. Go to Fight Bananas Facebook page, all podcast platforms. Check out Fight Bananas. We got solid picks. I think yesterday's card was our best show. We had a lot of fun with it. I shared some of the best pranks that I had, as well as been to at American Top Team. Actually, you know what? Have you been victim to any pranks or been part of any pranks out at ATT, or are you still just keeping a low profile
No,
there?
no pranks here.
I may have to make
Pahumpa
some
kind
phone
of got
calls.
Grant a little bit when they were going to Brazil for Thiago Moises' fight. He said something about, he's like, hey, like I need to take some extra like luggage for me. You have more checked bags. Like, can I give you one of my checked bags to take? And then Grant's like, yeah, of course. And he's like, what do you need me to take? And he's like, some tires. He's like, some tires for my car. And Grant's like, I can't tell if he's serious or not. And he just like went with it for like, I think a good half hour.
Yeah, that's Bahumpa. I'm trying to think if the coaches have ever got me on stuff. Well, they got me on stuff. I just can't think off the top of my head. Um, Actually, they kind of told us that Steven Seagal was going to come down and teach a seminar after the Lyoto Machida knocked out Randy Couture, and Steven Seagal was taking credit for. But that died out in like 15 minutes. They couldn't keep a straight face. That's probably the best coach's prank they had on us. But anyway, that's what we got tonight. Short and sweet. We're definitely gonna do more of these. I know I have so much fun with these, and sorry for the technical difficulties. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks, El.
Thanks, guys.